Hi everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and it's another real estate show. Today we're here with Leslie with 110 Realty Group, and we're going to talk about new property taxes or some new laws that went into effect. What are some of them?
Well, as of January 1st of 2022, 24 laws were enacted by the state, and a lot of them affect personal property exemptions and property tax. And I wanted to highlight a couple of the things that I think most people would find most interesting. The first one has to do with if you have a primary dwelling, it's your primary homestead, you get a homestead exemption for that. Well, the state is allowing you to get a little bit of savings this year and going forward. They have offered $25,000 off your assessed value. So if you're a homeowner that owns a house, it's assessed at $500,000 last year, this year you should see an assessment $25,000 less than what it was.
Which means money savings.
It's a little bit of a savings to your primary home that you live in. And it's statewide, and if you have any questions about that, you can always call us, or you can check with your local county appraisal district. For clarification. But it's a first, and they have been working toward doing this for quite a while, so it was real exciting.
They also implemented to where you don't have to wait or something, didn't they?
Yes, one of the other things for the person who owns their primary home is that if you are buying a primary home in 2022, instead of waiting to file for your tax exemptions on that new property until the following January, like next January 2023, you can put it into effect this year. So the house you bought may have just had a regular homestead exemption on it, but maybe you're a senior. You'll be able to enact immediately the savings this year for the primary residence where you live.
So it didn't really affect the people that bought in November and December because it was going to go into effect. But if you bought a house, closed on a house as of January 2nd, or even in July, you don't have to wait until January of 2023 to get your exemption. You actually get it from the time that you purchase the home.
When you close on the house and the title company files the deed of record, then it goes through the system and it'll pull up. Instead of being the other owner, it'll come up, Joe Smith bought this year on the January 2nd, and those exemptions that apply to Joe Smith for this year go into effect this year. You don't have to wait. And that's a big difference. That's a big difference.
Okay. Also, there was some veterans, isn't there?
There's a number of savings, and it affected a couple of the ones that I did read about were out of the 24 that came into play, was that surviving widows and widowers of veterans, they got some additional fixed tax, frozen tax status. Again, that may vary a little bit, but if it was somebody who was the widow or widower of a deceased or an offspring that inherited, say, the property, they would become frozen as far as the taxes going forward. And that's a little bit different than how it's been.
If people want to see what laws came into effect, where can they go so they can read through the whole list?
One of the best places is to go to the state of Texas. If you go to the state of Texas and look for changes in tax property laws, it will bring up all of those.
The changes.
One of the other things that came up too had to do with HOA statuses, and I know that's always a big question on people, but how HOAs are going to be handled in the state, and that's another conversation for another day because it's pretty involved, but that's something of interest. We have a few down here, but that's always of interest to people about
about HOAs and what they can authority over.
Yes, what they can do and what they cannot do.
Well, if people want to get hold of you for questions on the new laws, or maybe look for a home because the sales down here are still hot, or you're looking for property to build a home, how can they get hold of 110 Realty Group?
Well, we now have an office at 969 Surfside here in Crystal Beach. Crystal Beach. Sorry about that. Forgot where I was. The sun's so warm. We have a phone number. You can call Beth at 214-801-9801. The office is 972-827-1129.
And website?
And website is 110 Realty Group, or We Sell Crystal Beach.
Great, great. Well, if you want to work with a realtor that really goes out of their way, these ladies I've been working with them now for about 4 weeks, and I tell you what, they're full of firecrackers. They go out, they're looking for property for people because the homes down here are getting less and less. In fact, one of our next shows is probably going to talk about price per square foot because it's jumped a lot, and I was getting some numbers from Beth just over 90 days what it had done, and it's probably going to keep going up because of supply and demand down here. One thing I learned in government was supply and demand, and when there's a less supply and a bigger demand, things go up. So anyway, if you need any more information or want to talk to these ladies, give them a call, or you can find them online at 110realtygroup.com. I'm David with Bolivar Lies. Thanks for joining us today on this beautiful day. Until next time, y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye.